All right, so welcome to Black Swan Revelations. My name is Shane, and in today's video, I'm going to be talking a little bit about Adam and Eve, specifically when they fell. And I don't have any scripture verses to back up what I am about to share, so take it for what it is. Take it with a grain of salt. I encourage you to read the story about the Garden of Eden and when Adam and Eve fell. These are just my thoughts, my personal revelations, if you will, regarding Genesis 3. So one of the things that I always thought about was, or wondered about, was when Eve partook of the fruit from the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. I wasn't wondering what kind of fruit it was. Like, was it a banana? Was it an apple? Was it a pear? Whatever it is, that doesn't really matter to me. There are some people that form doctrines around that it is a Macintosh apple. And that's not what I'm going to share. But one of the things that stood out to me was when Eve took the forbidden fruit, she ate, and then gave it to her husband who was there, which is Adam. She gave it to Adam. He was standing there. And I'm like, that's kind of weird that he's right there. God told him, out of all the trees you can eat, of all the other trees, this is the only tree that you can't eat from. This one tree right here. You got everything else. So then we see that Eve is talking to the serpent, and Adam is somewhere beside her, behind her, around, within a few feet, within 10 feet, within earshot, but he's there, and she gives him the fruit, and he eats as well, and their eyes were open. So that, I always wondered about that. How could this happen? So here's my thought. Here's what I think happened, all right? I think the serpent I think Adam and Eve were comfortable with the idea that the serpent was around. Seems like, and again, I can't back this up with scripture, but it seems like for her to have a conversation with the serpent is kind of weird, because I would have thought you would have just kind of like took a stick and whatever, or fled from the garden, or ran to Adam and said, the serpent's trying to talk to me, and let's go after him, whatever. Or let's tell God. How about that concept? So it's interesting that she was comfortable enough to have a conversation. So when God is walking through the garden in the cool of the day, they hear his voice, or they hear the sound of God walking in the garden, or they hear his voice, depending what version you're reading. And they hid themselves because they realized once they partook of the forbidden fruit that they were naked. So they hid themselves amongst the trees. And God said, where are you? I'm not going to get into the what does that mean. Some people say, where are you at your current state and future state and all this kind of stuff. I'm not going to get into that kind of stuff, because I just think God's saying, like, where are you? Like, you're hiding. Where are you? I don't know. But then Adam said, I heard you walking in the garden, and I hid myself because I was naked. And God says, who told you that you were naked? Have you taken of the forbidden fruit that I told you not to? And Adam says, the woman that you gave me, you, big finger pointing, the woman that you gave me the fruit. And then God says to the woman, what did you do? What have you done? And she said, the serpent deceived me. Now, This is where I want to dive into this a little bit more. And depending what version you read, Jewish versions, Jewish Bible versions, ESV, NIV, NLV, NLT, all this kind of stuff. I go through all the versions. There's one version where Eve says to God, the serpent beguiled me. So if you look up the word beguiled, it means charmed. It means almost like hypnotized in some ways. So if you dive in, I'm not encouraging anyone to dive into hypnosis or anything like this. But I think what had happened was somehow the serpent hypnotized Adam and he froze. He didn't speak. He didn't do anything. He was just standing there beside Eve. Maybe he was in shock, whatever, but I think somehow the serpent cast a spell on Adam, and Adam froze. He was just standing there, dumbfounded, whatever. He just didn't move. And then the serpent was able to have a conversation with Eve and was beginning to charm her, almost like the Jungle Book with the snake saying, trust in me and all this kind of stuff, because there are ways that magicians today can actually hypnotize people without them knowing it. They can make them do things that they are unaware that they're doing. It's called advertising in some ways. You know, in movie theaters, they used to use subliminal messaging where Eat Popcorn would get flashed on the screen for like a millisecond. Then people would get up and like, you know what? I think I need some popcorn right now. You know what? I think I need a Coke. I need a Pepsi, whatever. And they would get up and do it. And we do that all the time. I do it. If I see a commercial at McDonald's, I'm like, hey, I got to go to McDonald's. Anyways, I say that because there are times where we can be hypnotized and not know it. And if you talk about the serpent, the devil, who is probably the most gifted when it comes to that, hypnotizing people, making them do things, maybe perhaps against their will, if they're weak, who knows? And this caught Eve off guard. This caught Adam off guard. And she's like, yeah, you know what? Adam, or God said that we must not eat of this fruit, and we must not touch it because we will die. And then the serpent says, you will not surely die because God knows you'll know the difference between good and evil and you'll be like him. So there is some truth in there, but it's muddied. It's muddied. And Eve, where did she get the idea? Where did she get the thought that if she touches it, she'll die? I think Adam relayed the message to her at an earlier time and said, look, Eve, God told me not to touch the fruit. Like, this is bad. Don't even touch it. Just stay away from it. You know, don't eat it. Don't look at it. Don't touch it. I think that's the message that Adam relayed to Eve. So when she told the serpent, she's like, yeah, God said we're not allowed to eat it. We're not allowed to touch it. Don't even look at it, all this kind of stuff. And the devil's like, look at it. Look at how nice this thing is. Look at it. You're not going to die. Trust me. You're not going to die. In fact, God is jealous. Whatever he said to Eve, he beguiled her. He charmed her into taking of the fruit. And Adam was right there. So you can disagree with me and say there's no way on God's green earth that the serpent hypnotized Adam. What else can you say happened? Why was Adam standing there and not doing anything to protect his wife? I think he was in some kind of a trance, and he took the fruit that he didn't know. Maybe deep down inside they both desired this fruit, because it looked like it from Eve's perspective that it looks good. This looks really good. Anyways, there's my thought. Here's my thoughts. Let me know in the comments what you think. Have you ever thought about that? That's why you're here. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel, especially if you watch this go visit my website. If you like this kind of thing, I go deeper on my website, especially if you subscribe to my Black Swan Diary email list. I send you more emails each week just to go a little bit deeper than what I can on this YouTube channel. So there you go. Thanks a lot, and I'll see you in another video. Bye for now.